Hey everybody, Hickok 45 here, Hickok 45 Talks channel. Glad you're still here with me on the swing. On my porch. I'm sorry I didn't offer you anything to drink, did I? Maybe if you hang around I will. Yeah, the safety really mattered. Does gun safety matter? Someone asked me if I'd talk about this a little bit, and I will. I'll try to keep this one brief if possible. This fellow left the comments and he said, what I see, when we talk about this, he says, what I see is badly needed is range and gun safety. Range and gun safety. Well, I know what he means. This might be a topic for you to talk about. Well, gun safety in general, at the range or anywhere. But he does mention range, shooting ranges, and of course, that is a critical issue. I mean, I have nothing profound. We all need to be as safe as we can wherever we're shooting, whether you're on a range or not, whether you're an indoor range, outdoor range, you name it. And this person, like many of you, have seen lots of safety violations, I'm sure, at the range. That's where you would see it, right? You're not going to see it if Bubba's out in the woods shooting and not being safe. You're going to see somebody being safe or unsafe when they're around you. Brilliant, huh? And it's bothersome because they are around you, right? And you're getting muzzled. So you're getting swept by the person next to you, the lane next to you, wherever. So that is an issue. I have no advice for you if it scares you to death, other than try to buy yourself 100 acres somewhere and shoot, or finding yourself a full body Kevlar suit. But for everybody, and we all think we're safe, don't we? We all think we're safe, just like we all think we're smart, except me. Probably an issue more, not necessarily limited to new shooters or newer shooters, but probably more prevalent. Once you've been around a while, a few decades shooting, you've been to a lot of different shooting ranges, maybe you've been in shooting matches, you've had it drilled into you long enough, and you not only realize what it takes to be safe, but you understand it better, you appreciate it. You realize that even the strict safety rules are not, they're not too strict, they're not stupid. Sometimes there are so many rules in society that don't make sense, right? Some speed limits where it's 30 miles an hour. There's no reason for it to be 30 or 25. It's just a speed trap or whatever it might be. But with gun safety, it's just different, isn't it? So if you're somebody you're newer to shooting, you've never been in a shooting match, because I always bring up matches because that's where safety is so important. You're actually moving around with firearms, whether it's a cowboy match or a USPSA or lots of other sorts. You're maybe drawing and shooting fast. A lot of ranges you're not even allowed to draw. So at shooting matches, it's strictly enforced, and you're disqualified, for violations and different things. So it's a great place to learn gun safety. You point that muzzle in the wrong direction, one time, you may be disqualified from that match. At the range, it's a little different, maybe. Nobody sees you doing it. There's not somebody over your shoulder watching you with a time clock. But somebody down the way sees it, or the range officer's looking the other way, or they're not as strict, or not on duty, or whatever it might be. So there's a lot of room for error sometimes, on a shooting range, depending on where you are and what time. I guess my thinking on this is you just can't be too safe. You're around other people, you're on a range with other people. And I always say the reason we exaggerate safety, we need to exaggerate it. It's not enough for me to know I'm safe, or for me to know my gun's unloaded. If I'm in a range with other people and I'm walking around with the gun, maybe to a skeet range or something, it's a sporting clays range, and you're walking from one station to another, whatever you're doing, and there's etiquette for that. You're supposed to have your action open obviously unload and all that sort of thing. Well, the reason for that, the reason we exaggerate it, is not just so that you are safe and you know you're safe, but everybody else around needs to, at a glance, see that you are safe. That's why you cannot be ever pointing your gun at anybody. It doesn't matter if the action is open and that it's unloaded. Yeah, we get it. It's unloaded. You can't hurt anybody. Why does it matter if I pointed at somebody accidentally? Well, it matters a lot. That's one of the rules you don't want to violate at all, because you may think it's unloaded. You know, the old line about people are killed with unloaded guns, of course. But everybody else doesn't know it's unloaded for sure. And so you just have to exaggerate safety. So if you're kind of new to shooting, uh, kind of think through all that. It's not that the range officer is trying to be, I don't know, an authoritarian just because he's mean or she is mean, or anything like that. It is incredibly important. The more people that gather together to do something with danger involved, potential danger involved, then the stricter it just has to be. And you need to make it really obvious. Exaggerate safety. Go out of your way to make it clear that your gun is clear and it's open and it's not pointed at anybody ever. Do things in slower motion. When I was a range officer in USPSA, it used to bother me that some of the people were just moving that gun around so quick, and when the stage was over, even I mentioned this in a video, I think, and they would just say, "Okay, clear, show clear, and holster all that," but they're just back in their holster. Well, wait a minute, let's just slow down a little bit. Make sure it's clear before you start whipping around back in your holster that quickly. And I would, having been a range officer, I would try to go into slow motion once I, and most people do. Once you finish that stage, and I wait for their command, open, show clear, you show clear, holster, okay, put the action back down, slowly put it in the holster, just make it obvious. Gun safety needs to be done and exercised in an obvious manner for everybody else. It's a matter of respect and it's a matter of safety. Okay, it really is. We got several videos on this, and I try to demonstrate it in every video. I'm sure I could go back through all 3,000 videos, and there's times when I was marginal in that, but I really try to exercise safety. And it's a little different on my range. I pointed that out, how there's no one else around. The gun's pointed into the hillside, and I might, lay a gun down with the action closed, and that sort of thing. Even loaded, probably not one in the chamber, unless that's the drill I'm talking about we're doing. But it's a little different when you have your own private place and everything. There's nobody around, and except people watching virtually on a camera. And plus, I'm turning around with guns and things I wouldn't be doing at a range. I wouldn't be doing here ever if the camera were not out. I never turn around with the firearm and hold it up and the thing. So some of it's poetic license, or the entertainment license, or whatever. But anyway, I try to demonstrate safety and exaggerate it. And you really need to do that for the sake of your fellow shooters when you're at the range. Please try to remember that. Life is good.